Now we'll see multiplication theorem on probability. To understand this one, the important concept is conditional probability. Okay, by using the conditional probability, we will solve the problems based on this. Okay, first we'll see what is a multiplication theorem on probability. See, if I consider the two events E and F are associated with the sample space S. Okay, E and F are the two events. Those are the subset of a sample space S. Then E intersection F is nothing but, you know that, the element which belongs to both the event E and F, right? The element will be there in the E and F, that is called the E intersection F. In this one, we will notate this one as E intersection F, also can be written as EF. Is it clear? EF is nothing but E intersection F, product of those E into F. Remember this. Now, see, if I want to find the conditional probability of conditional probability of an event E where F is already occurred. Okay, this is a conditional probability. Conditional probability of an event E where F is already occurred is given by, this is equal to P of E intersection F divided by P of F, where one more thing here, P of F cannot be equal to 0, right? Probability of F can't be equal to 0. So this is the conditional probability of an event E and where F is occurred. By using this, we can write P intersection F is equal to P of E by F into P of F, right? Where P of F cannot be equal to 0. Now, if I write the conditional probability of an event F when E is already occurred, is it clear? Now we are finding the conditional probability of F where E is already occurred is given by P of F intersection E, right, divided by P of E. Here P of E cannot be equal to 0, right? P of E cannot be equal to 0. And one more thing, P of F intersection E also can be written as P of E intersection F, right? By using this, what we can write, P of E intersection F is equal to P of F by E into P of E, where P of E cannot be equal to 0. By combining these two, P of E intersection F, what we can write, P of E intersection F is equal to, here we have P of E by F into P of F, and here we can write P of E intersection F as P of F by E, P of F by E into P of E, and provided P of F cannot be equal to 0 and P of E cannot be equal to 0. Is it clear? So P of E intersection F can be written in the both the form. Conditional probability of E where F is occurred and conditional probability of F where E is occurred. This is called the multiplication rule on probability. Okay, remember this. Look at this question. Let us read it. Okay, try to understand it. What is given? See here, an urn contains 10 black and 5 white balls. Okay, total 15 balls are there. 10 black balls and 5 white balls are drawn from one after the another. First you have to draw one ball, then you have to draw another ball without replacement. Is it clear? Without replacement. Now what you have to find? What is the both the drawn balls are? What is the probability? Okay. What is the probability of both the drawn balls are black? Both the balls should be black. I mean, which one you have to find? Drawn balls. Both means it should be an intersection, right? You have to find what is the probability of both the drawn balls are black. So we need to find P of E intersection F. Is it clear? Or we can write simply this as P of E into F. So we need to find this one, right? So let us write the events E and F. Let me write this. Let E and F are the events. F are the events drawn first and second balls are black. clear? E is the event that is the drawn first ball will be black and F is the one after another, right? F is the event drawn second ball will be black. Now can you say what is the probability of E? Probability of E. See here we are finding the probability of E and total 10 balls are there, 10 black balls are there and 5 white balls are there. We need to draw black ball, right? In that total 15 balls we have there 10 black balls are possible, right? So we can draw one ball from this. So what is the probability of E? Total 15 balls are there and probability of getting black ball will be 10, right? So the probability of E is equal to 10 by 15. Is it clear? Probability of getting black ball from the 15 balls is 10 by 50. That is the probability of E. Now one more black ball we have to draw, right? Another black, is it clear? We have both the balls should be black. So one more black ball we have to draw, but here it is given that without replacement. So that means one black ball is done. Now how many balls are remaining? In the black balls here 9 will be remaining. Here 5 is as it is, right? So total number of balls are 14 are there. Is it clear? 14 balls are there. In that one event is already occurred. Is it clear? Now you are finding the try to understand it carefully. Now see, probability of E is equal to 10 by 50. That is done. Now you are finding the probability of F, but one event is already occurred, right? You are finding the probability of F, but one event, that event is E, is already occurred. That means you are finding the conditional probability of F where E is already occurred. Is it clear? I'll repeat once again. See here, total you have to draw two balls. The ball should be black and here E and F are the events. E shows the event that first ball will be black and F is the event second ball will be black. Now first we need to find the probability of E. Here probability of E you getting black ball, right? Probability of E that is should be a black ball. So total 15 balls are there, 10 plus 5. 15 balls are there. In that getting black balls will be 10. So it will be equal to 10 by 15. One black ball is drawn now, right? One event is already occurred. Now you are finding the probability of F where E is already occurred. That means we can write P of the probability of F where E is already occurred. Is it clear? Conditional probability of F where E is occurred. E is done. Here the event is there, right? E is, that is probability of V will be 10 by 50. Now probability of F where E is occurred is equal to total number of balls is now 14 and getting the which ball? Black ball will be 9 because only 9 balls are there. That is 9 by 14. It's clear? Now what we have to find? Probability of E intersection F or E into F. E intersection F. For that two formulas are there, right? Either you can go with probability of F by E into or E by F. Here we have probability of F by E. So we will write this one. This is equal to P of F by E by using a multiplication rule into P of E. So this is F by E will be 9 by 14 into there it is 10 by 50. Okay. Simplify so that we will get the answer. Probability of E intersection F, or we can write this as P of E F. I hope you understood this one. Before going to this problem, see here, if it is P of E intersection F, there are two formulas are there, right? We can write this as P of E into P of F by E, right? This is a one formula. P of E into P of F by E. If it is more than two events are there, then the formula is given that, see, let me consider E, F, G are the three events associated with the sample space. Yes, 3 or more than 3. Then the formula will be, see here, P of E intersection F intersection G will be equal to P of E. Remember, P of E. So probability of E is done. Now you are finding the probability of F where E is occurred. Is it clear? First probability of E, this one as it is, probability of E, then probability of E is occurred, it is done. Now we are finding the probability of F where E is already occurred, that will be P of F by E. Is it clear? Next, It will be probability of E is done, F is done. Now we are finding the probability of G. Is it clear? We are finding the probability of G where E and F are already occurred. So it will be P of G by E into F. I hope you understood this one. If it is 4 are there, then I can take one more intersection K. Now which one is occurred? E is done, F is done, G is done. Now we are finding the probability of K. It will be probability of K where E, F and G are occurred. Is it clear? So now this is the formula for if it is any 3 or more than 3 events are given, then the formula will be like this. Okay? Remember this formula. See this problem. 3 cards are drawn successively. Okay? So we need to draw 3 cards without replacement from a pack of well shuffled 52 cards. Okay? From a pack of well shuffled 52 cards. Now, what is the probability that the first 2 cards are kings and third is an ace? Okay? Without replacement, you have to draw cards one by one, and the given conditions are first 2 cards should be king and third one should be ace. Is it clear? Now what we have to find? Let us consider the events. Let K be the event. Okay? Drawn card is king. Drawn card is king. Now, and A be the event, ace it is given. A be the event, drawn card is an ace. Now, what we have to find? You have to find what is the probability that first 2 cards are kings and third is ace. So we need to find probability of first 2 cards are king. First one king, second one should be king and third one should be ace. Is it clear? So we need to find probability of K into A, or this one also can be written as P of probability of K intersection with K and intersection with A. Is it clear? So notations are, E intersection F also can be written as E into F. Like that we have to find the probability of K into A. Is it clear? This is the 3 events are there. First event should be this should be a king, that is the first event. Second event should be a king, that is the second event, and third event should be an ace. Is it clear? First let us start with the king. Now what is the probability of drawn card is king? What is the probability of? We have tried probability of drawn card is king. How many kings are there in these 52 cards? Total 4 kings are there, right? So drawn card should be king means how many possibilities will be there? It is 4 by 52. Is it clear? 4 by 52. Now one event is done, right? We have found the probability of an event K is 4 by 52. It is done. Now we need to find the probability of another event. That should be also a king, but one king is already drawn. Right? Now what will be the probability of K? That can be written as probability of K where one king is already occurred. Right? Probability of, I hope you are getting this. Probability of K where one K is already occurred. What is the possibility now? P of K by K. If you want to write here, probability of first king is occurred and probability of second king where the first one is occurred, or the conditional probability of a second king where the first king is occurred is equal to how many cards are there now? Total 52 were there. In that one is drawn, remaining cards are 51. Right? Total 4 kings are there. In that one is drawn, so it will be equal to 3. Right? 3 by 51. Next what you have to find? K is done. First king is done. Second king is done. Now third one should be ace. Now we are finding the probability of ace, but 2 kings are already occurred. Right? That is done. Now what we can write this here? Probability of, we are finding an ace where K is occurred and K is occurred. Here this one also can be written as K intersection K. Okay? Probability of A by K into K. Right? This is the now we are finding the probability of an ace where 2 kings are already occurred. So probability of A where 2 kings are occurred. Now what is the probability of an ace? Total how many ace are there? 4, right? So probability of this will be 4 divided by number of cards now. Here 1 is done, another is done here. So 2 is done. Right now remaining cards are 50. So this will be equal to 4 by 50. So this is the probability. Or else what you do is, here P of K, A can be written as P of K intersection A. Right? Better you write the formula first. See this one. Here probability that the first 2 cards are king. First should be 2 kings. So K and K. Then the third one should be ace. So intersection with A. So what will be the formula? We can write this as first P of K. Right? Next will be P of K, but this is occurred. So I can write P of K by K, right? Next will be P of K where K and K are occurred. So that is P of A by K into K. So that it will be easy. So first you have to find P of K, then you have to find P of K by K, then you have to find P of A by K into K. Is it clear? Now finally we need to substitute here. P of K is 4 by 52 into K by K is 3 by 51 into A by Kk is 4 by 50. Now you need to simplify and write the final answer. Now we will see another important concept, that is independent events. Okay, very important one. You can expect 2 more questions from this. See, let us consider one example. Drawing a cards from the well shuffled deck of 52 cards. And the event E have taken as a drawing a card should be spade and F is an ace. I hope you have the idea about that 52 cards because we have discussed in the first PUC also. Right? Now, can you see what is the probability of E? How many spades are there in that 52 cards? Total 13 spades will be there, right? So the probability of spade will be 13 out of 52. Right? So probability of E will be 13 by 52. Probability of F, how many A's are there? In that total 4 A's will be there, right? So the probability of F will be 4 by 52. So this one I can write as 1 by 4. So this is equal to now 1 by 30. Now can you say what is the P intersection F? It should belongs to both. It should belongs to both means it should be a spade of an ace, right? How many A's are there? Total 4 A's are there. In this spade, how many A's will be there? Only 1 ace, right? In that spade, total 13 cards will be there. Numbers I think 1 to 10, then remaining 3. King, queen and ace, right? Only 1 ace will be there. So probability of E intersection F is 1 because it should be a spade of an ace. That should be spade as well as it should be an ace. So only 1 is possible. So it will be equal to 1 by 30, right? We'll write P of E by F. What is the formula? P of E intersection F divided by P of F. Now what is the value of P of E intersection F? P of E intersection F, is it 1 by 13? It should be 1 by 52, right? Total number of cards is 52. In that 1 is a spade of ace. So it should be 1 by 52, sorry, 1 by 52. We'll substitute P of E intersection F is equal to 1 by 52 divided by, what is P of F? Will be equal to 1 by 13. So I can write 13 and 4. So this is equal to 1 by 4. Right? So here you have to observe P of E by F is nothing but the conditional probability of an event E when F is already occurred is equal to 1 by 4. And this is also equal to P of E. Right? The value of P of E is also same. Is it clear? The value of P of E is also 1 by 4. By this what we can say? P of E by F is equal to P of E is equal to 1 by 4. Here, see this one. This is the conditional probability of E where F has already occurred is equal to probability of E. So this occurrence of F, right? This occurrence of this event F does not affect on this E. Is it clear? See, this is nothing but, listen carefully, probability of E when F has already occurred. We got this as 1 by 4, right? And directly if you find the probability of E, this is also equal to 1 by 4. So, probability of E with this is occurred does not affect anything on this, right? So, occurrence of an event E will not affect anything on this E, right? Occurrence of the event F which does not affect on the event E. So, we can say that this event is an independent event. Is it clear? This is an independent event because occurrence of this will not affect on anything on this E. So, this is called the independent event. And the one, if you consider P of F by E, see here also same thing, F by E is equal to P of E intersection F or F intersection E divided by P of E. What is P of E intersection F? Will be equal to 1 by 52 divided by P of E is 1 by 4. So, this is 4 and 30. So, this is equal to 1 by 30. 1 by 13 is equal to P of F, right? So, by this what we can say? Probability of F by E is equal to probability of F. This is also equal to 1 by 30. So, here the occurrence of the event E is not affected on F, right? Probability of F by E is nothing but the conditional probability of F where E is occurred, and this is the probability of F. Both are same. So, occurrence of this event will not affect anything on F. So, such events, so here E and F events are called the independent events. Is it clear? These are called independent events. I mean, occurrence of one event will not affect on the another. Such events are called the independent events. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now let's see the definition of an independent event. Okay, this definition is important. Usually we use this formula to, check the whether the two events are independent or not. See, we have P of E by F is equal to P of E, right? Here, let E and F are the two events. Let E and F are the two events associated with the same sample space S. Then P of E by F is equal to P of E. That means occurrence of F will not affect anything on E, and provided here P of F cannot be equal to 0. Another one is P of F by E will be equal to P of F. That means occurrence of E will not affect anything on F. Here provided P of E cannot be equal to 0. Now, by using a multiplication rule, we have a formula P of E intersection F can be written as P of E into P of E by F, right? So, P of F by E. Two formulas are there, right? P of E intersection F is equal to P of E into P of F by E is nothing, conditional probability of F where E is occurred. So, this can be written as, this is equal to P of E into, what is P of F by E? If it is independent, P of F by E will be equal to P of E, right? So, this is equal to P of E intersection F. This is a formula to check whether the two events are independent or not, okay? So, definition is, let E and F are two events associated with the random experiment of a sample space, yes. Then to say E and F are two independent events if P of E intersection F should be equal to P of E into P of F. If it is this condition is true, then we can say that two events are independent, okay. P of E intersection F should be equal to, by using this. Okay, if you write P of F intersection E also, you will get the same. So, P of E intersection F is equal to P of E into P of F. Then we can say that two events are independent, okay. And one more thing, don't get confused with the mutually exclusive and independent. Mutually exclusive is nothing but it's for a set, okay. If it is any two, if there is no common element, then we can say that those are mutually exclusive. Independent is nothing but probability of E intersection F should be equal to probability of E into probability of F. This is a very important form. Remember, an unbiased die is thrown twice. Let the event A be the odd number on the first throw and B be the event that odd number on the second throw. Now check the independence of the event A and B. Okay. Actually, no need to write the sample space. If you want, you can write. What is the number of elements in a sample space? How many elements will be there? Obviously, it will be 36, right? So die is there. It is thrown twice means it will be 6 into 6. It will be equal to 36. Now, can you say what is the event A? Event A is equal to the odd number on the first throw. Odd number on the first throw means 1 is possible, 3 is possible and 5 is possible. The possible elements are 1, 2, 1, sorry, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. Then 3, 1, 3, 2, so 6 is possible with 3, right? Then with 5, 6 are possible. Is it clear? With 1, 6 possibility will be there. With 3, 6 possibility and with 5, 6 possibility. So total number of elements in the event A, or if you want you can write the sample space. Okay, better you write the sample space. Now, sorry, better. Look at this problem. An unbiased die is thrown twice. Let the event A be odd number on the first throw. Okay. Event A is odd number on the first throw and event B is odd number on the second throw. Now check the independence of the event A and B. If you want, you can write the sample space or directly you can write the number of elements in the sample space. How many elements will be there? Anyway, this is a 2 marks question. So directly you can write number of elements in the sample space will be 36, right? 6 into 6 will be 36. Now can you say how many elements will be there? The element, set A. If you want, you can list the element of set A. The AB odd number on the first throw. Odd number on the first throw means possible elements 1 is possible, 3 is possible, 5 is possible, right? 1 with 6 possibility will be there. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. If you want, you can list that. Okay, then 3, 1, 3, 2 like that 6 and 5, 1, 5, 2 like that 6. Total 18 elements will be there. Or list the elements of this set. So n of S will be equal to 18. Now n of B. How many elements will be there in the B? It is what is given odd number on the second throw. So odd number on the second throw means this second is fixed. That is 1 with 1 is possible. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So here 6 are possible. Again with 3, 6 are possible, right? Again with 5, 6 are possible. So here also total number of elements will be 18, right? Now can you say what is the number of elements in A intersection B? Both. It should be on the first throw it should be odd and in the second throw it should be odd. So that means intersection means the number both should be odd, right? The number both should be odd means possible numbers are 1, 1 is possible, right? It will be there in the both. And 1 and 2 is not possible. 1, 3 is possible. 1 and 5 is possible. 1 and 6 is not possible, right? Then 3 and 1 is possible, right? 3 and 2 is not possible but 3 possible. 3 and 5 is possible. Next 5 and 1 is possible. 5 and 3 is possible. And 5 and 5. So total 3, 6, 9. 9 elements will be there, right? So or else you list all the elements of a set A, then list set B, then find the intersection of those. Okay. Now we'll find the probability. What is the probability of P of A? P of A is equal to number of elements is 18 divided by 36. Right? Total outcomes are 36. So it is equal to 1 by. Now P of B is also same. Right? So it is also 18 by 36. This is also equal to 1 by. What is P of A intersection B? A intersection B will be equal to 9 by 36. So this is equal to 1 by 4. Now whether they are independent, how to check that? To say independent, P of A intersection B should be equal to P of A into P of B. Right? P of A intersection B we got 1 by 4 and P of A is 1 by 2 and P of B is also 1 by 2. So 1 by 4 is equal to 1 by 4. By this we can say that these two events A and B are independent. Book example 10 and 12 are homework. Okay, simple problems are there. So complete that. Now we will see this one. prove that E and F are the independent events, then so are the E and F dash. So it is given that E and F are two independent events, and we need to prove that E and F dash is also independent. So by using this condition, we can write E and F dash is also independent, or we can write E dash and F is also independent, and one more, E dash and F dash is also independent. By using this, we can say this, or we can prove this also. Okay. Remember, this is only one condition is given, but it holds for E dash and F, and it holds for E dash and F dash. Okay. Let us consider what is given. Let E and F are independent events. Independent events. Since they are independent, what we can write? P of E intersection F should be equal to P of E into P of F. Right? And what you have to prove? To prove E and F dash are independent. Is it clear? We need to prove that E and F dash are independent. That means what we have to prove? P of E intersection F dash should be equal to P of E into P of F dash. So we need to prove this one. Is it clear? We have to prove this. For this, we'll use the Venn diagram. Okay. Let us consider the events E, and this is the event F. This is E, and this is F. Now here we need E intersection F dash. Now this is equal to E intersection F, right? Now can I write this as this one? E intersection F dash, is it E intersection with F dash? E is this one, right? And here whole this universal set is there, right? And this is E. Is it clear? So this is E intersection with F dash. F dash means you have to leave this one. So other than this, so intersection of these two will be, this is now E intersection F dash. Is it clear? This is E intersection with F dash, means other than F. So you will get this one as a E intersection F dash. Similarly, here this one, what we can write? This is now F intersection with E dash, right? This is now F intersection with E dash. Clear? F, this one, intersection with E dash, we have to leave this one and everything. So common will be F intersection E dash. Now by using this one, see, we can write P of E is equal. What is P of E? This is now P of E, right? So P of E can be written as P of E intersection F dash plus P of E intersection F. Right now this is E intersection F. So by using this we can write P of E is equal to P of E intersection F dash plus P of E intersection F. Is it clear? I hope you understood this. See, this is the E intersection with F dash, and this is the F intersection with A dash. Now P of E, I mean this whole term, this one can be written as P of E intersection F dash plus P of E intersection F. That will gives you a P of E. Now by using this, anyway, here we need to prove P of E intersection F dash, right? So we'll take that. So here this is now P of E intersection F dash is equal, I can write P of E minus P of E intersection F. Yes, P of E intersection F dash is equal to P of E minus P of E intersection F. So this is equal to P of E minus, what is P of E intersection F? P intersection F, since those are independent, we can write P of E into P of F. So let us substitute this, P of E into P of F. Now here P of E is common. Let us take out P of E into here 1 minus P of F. So now can you say this is equal to P of E into what is 1 minus P of F? Can we write that as P of F dash by using a property? Right? 1 minus P of E will be equal to P of F dash. So we proved P of E intersection F dash is equal to P of E into P of F dash. So by this we can say that E and F dash are independent events. Independent event. Okay. If you want to prove that E dash and F, then you have to consider this. Okay. Similarly, we can prove that E dash and F dash. See this one. If A and B are two independent events, it is given that those are independent, then the probability of occurrence of at least one of A and B is probability of occurrence of at least one of A and B is given by 1 minus P of A dash into P of B dash. We need to prove this one. Okay. First let us start this. It is given that A and B are independent, right? These are independent. So what we can write? P of A intersection B will be equal to P of A into P of B. Yes. Now here what you have to prove? Probability of occurrence of at least one of A and B. At least one means it will be a union, right? At least one of either A or B. That means we need to find P of A union B. Is it clear? P of at least one of means P of A union B will be equal to, you have the formula P of A, simple it is, plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Yes? So this is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Since they are independent, we can write P of A into P of B. Now here this is P of A as it is, and plus here P of B is there, we will take out P of B into 1 minus P of A. Yes. See here one more thing you have to observe, everything should be in the dash form, right? So we will convert those things. So this is equal to now P of A plus P of B into 1 minus P of A will be equal to P of A dash. Right? So this is equal to now P of A plus P of B into P of A dash. As I told you, this should be in a A dash form. So we will write P of A as 1 minus, right? We can write this 1 minus P of A dash. Is it clear? P of A can be done as 1 minus P of A dash plus P of B into P of A dash. 1 minus as it is, anyway here it is there 1 minus. Here we will take P of A dash common. If I take P of A dash common, what is remaining there? 1 minus here, so minus into plus 1 minus P of B. So here we can write this is equal to 1 minus P of A dash into 1 minus P of B will be equal to P of B. So proof, right? So this is equal to P of A union B can be written as 1 minus P of A dash into P of B dash.